Oh, hello everyone. I am not only coming to you live from my floor at, what time is it? Yeah, almost 10 p.m. I'm also coming to you live from what I am referring to as the Barbie germ house. Because as I am filming this video, I am currently recovering from having the coronavirus for the second time in my life. I was very sick last weekend into the start of this week. I'm feeling a lot better now. Obviously, this is the first day that I put makeup on. It made myself look like a human, and I wanted to take advantage of this and film a YouTube video. This video is going to be really simple because it's just 24, but it's actually 25 books that are on my TBR for the year that we are in of 2024. I really love the mix that I have here. I mean, obviously, number one, they're all romance books. Duh. This is, my page we're talking about. And it's a good mix of authors that I've already read from before. And, I want to get into more of their backlist, and then some new to me authors. I do have a couple duets in here as well. And I did actually count those as like a book each. So that's how we got to the 25 books here. So I think that is enough for this intro. Let's just get right on in to some books that I have on my 2024 TBR. I am chugging this Gatorade like my life depends on it, and this is the only Gatorade that we currently have in my house. And I need to go out and get more. I do, because I need to bring my hydration back because I feel crusty. I am, you can't even tell, crusty crab right now. Let's start with a book that's actually the first duet that I mentioned because, like I said, there's a couple duets on here. And this is a beautiful special edition of it that was sent to me by the author. And that author is one of my favorite people in the entire world. And that is Morgan Elizabeth. And this is actually her Mafia duet. So this is Ivory Tower is the first book. And then Diamond Fortress is its sequel. Again, this special edition. Insane. This is her light mafia. Now, it's still a mafia story, but it's also a rom-com. Morgan was inspired by The Sopranos, actually, to write this. I really feel like I'm going to eat this up. I just feel very strongly that I'm going to love them because I think Morgan's take on a rom-com, like a mafia rom-com, is going to be just very funny, and I know the spice in here is going to be top tier because it's Morgan Elizabeth. If you're in the mood for, a mafia romance, but you also still want it to be like light mafia, not too dark, definitely check out this duet from Morgan. Then we have our first book from an author who is new to me to read in 2024, but also she has more books on her backlist that I can't wait to get to. This is just the one that I own physically. That is Off the Hook by Julie Olivia. This is the first book in her newest series, and this one also sounds so right up my alley, Off the Hook, because this is Single Dad Nanny. It's an age gap, and then it's also inspired by Peter Pan, as you can see with like the Off the Hook. It's like a Captain Hook and Wendy retelling, which is just so cute. I mean, anything that's, well, it's not like a direct retelling, but you know what I mean. Anything that's inspired by, something Disney or a fairy tale in, like an adult setting, I'm going to eat it up every single time. And I feel like I have a lot of, inspired stories, retellings, etc. of that on my 2024 TBR, even, ones that I'm not going to mention. And this just sounds so good. It's like a cute little coastal town, and I think I'm going to eat it up. I can't remember if this is also, yes, it's My Brother's Ex-Fiance. Yes, so it's also like that drama too. So it's like forbidden. I feel like I'm the only one in the world who hasn't read After the Storm by Laura Pavlov yet. I love this series. I just have not gotten to this book. Whoopsie. I will probably download it on my Kindle or by the audiobook. I listened to basically this whole series on audio, but this one I may do just on my Kindle. She has her new release coming out as well, Loving Romeo, which I know people are currently are reading and they're loving it. I love a Laura Pavlov small town moment. This one's also single dad. So again, right up my alley. It's second chance. I'm pretty sure she's like a lawyer or something, and they get like snowed in together, or I don't know, there's a storm. Wow, after the storm. There's like an element I think that makes them have a forced proximity situation. And again, last book in a series that I love by an author who I already know and love. So I'm sure I'm going to love this as well. I just have to get to it. Another book by an author who I discovered in 2023 and really enjoyed the book that I read from them. We have Greer Rivers, This Is Rouge. So the first book in this series, it's like a series of connected standalones. It's called the Tattered Curtain series, and each book is inspired by a different like musical, but it's like a dark, you know, a dark musical and stuff. And that's incredible because the first book in the series was Phantom, which I listened to, and I loved that book. This book, Rouge, you would never guess, is inspired by Moulin Rouge, which is one of my favorite movies ever, one of my favorite musicals ever. I've seen the movie, I've seen the Broadway show. I love Moulin Rouge. I've heard also nothing but good things about this book. I have the audio for this one. I loved Phantom on audio, so I'm sure I'm gonna love this one on audio. I'm very, very, very excited to get to this one once I have like a moment where I'm just like, oh, I need an audiobook to listen to, and I have like the time basically, because I feel like I'm working through some like audiobook arcs right now. This is very high priority for me. This is very high priority for me. I'm very excited. I think I'm going to love this book. I couldn't even tell you what it was about. I think Phantom was mafia-ish, you know, it had mafia in there. I think this one also is kind of mafia as well. I mean, obviously it's inspired by Moulin Rouge, so I'm sure it's probably like a desirable woman and maybe like a nobody guy. I don't know. Well, we'll have to see for ourselves. I will see for myself when I read it, because I have no idea. I just know that it's inspired by Moulin Rouge. So you know what? We'll see how it goes. So I just have The Front Runner and A False Start, which are the last two books 3 and 4 in Elsie's Gold Rush Ranch series to finish, and then I'm done with her backlist with her full-length books. I love this series so much. I love the first two books, which are called Don't Tell Me It's a Photo Finish is book 2, and then Why Can't I Off to the Races. There we go. I was like, hello, I know those books. I really enjoyed those books so much, and I read those like back to back, and I was about to get in to The Front Runner, but then something happened where I got distracted. But I'm pretty positive A False Start is like best friend's little sister. Like there's some sort of forbidden element about this. And then The Front Runner is actually like fake dating. But then the guy gets like a redemption arc because he's kind of painted as a villain in the first two books. And she's like I almost called her a horse doctor. She's not a horse doctor, but I'm pretty positive she's like the woman who they have to come take care of the horses. I don't know are they called veterinarians if they take care of horses, or do they have a different name? Forgive me. But you know what? That's what these two books are about. I am sure I'm going to eat them up as they are Elsie Silver books. So yes, very, very much ready to get into these. And I love the covers with the horsies. I feel like I need to read this book immediately. I have this beautiful ARC copy, which I'm so excited to have this like ARC version of it. But I also have the Kindle version. This is Don't Want You Like a Best Friend by Emma R. Albin, and this is a sapphic historical romance. And I mean, the cover is inspired by, you know, it's Taylor Swift lyrics, which is just a book after my own heart. It's sapphic, it's a period piece, and we have a Taylor Swift reference. Bing, 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 bing. I am definitely giving this a 5-star prediction. I have one friend who has read it already, and she loved it, gave it 5 stars. She did say in her review that it's not so spicy, so I don't know if this book is supposed to be like new adult or if it's just like, you know, a low spice adult. Like, I'm very curious to see the vibes of this book, because I know it's not YA. I don't believe it's YA. But regardless, I'm just excited. I know it's about like two best friends who like, I think they want to parent trap their parents or something. I think that's like the general idea, but then they just end up falling in love instead. And I just know this is going to be so cute. I just know it. I know I'm going to love them, and I'm very, very, very ready for this book. This is another book that's part of a series that I actually need to catch up with, like 3 books in this series right now, maybe even 4. But this is the first one that I could find a physical copy of, so this is the one I'm going to show. But I do definitely want to finish the whole, I think this is called Monsters and Muses series, from Savar Miller. I think that's what it's called. And the first book in the series is Promises and Pomegranates. Then it's Vipers and Virtuosos. And then the one that I most recently listened to was Oaths and Omissions. And I do have the whole series now on audio. They were in the Audible sale, which is so incredible because actually Oaths and Omissions especially was so hot on audio. These books are so hot and spicy. Each of them is actually inspired by like a Greek mythology, like a Greek pairing. Like the first one is Hades and Persephone, then the second one is Orpheus and Eurydice, etc., etc. And this one that I'm holding up is Liars and Liaisons, which is the last book in the series. But the ones that I need to get to in order are it's Arrows and Apologies, which is book 4. I'm looking at it right now. It's right there. Then it's Souls and Sorrows, which I'm so excited to get to that one because that one is an arranged marriage, I think. And then it's like the sister from book 1. And I don't know, all the teasers that I saw for that book when it came out, I am just very, very excited for that one. And then Liars and Liaisons is this last one. So there's 3 books technically that I want to get to in this series. They all have beautiful covers. It's a very underrated series. I would definitely put them on your radar. The newest book in my collection, and I wanted to grab this indie version because this book was picked up by a publisher and the cover isn't really changing on the published version. They just changed the font of the title and I actually like the font on the indie version a lot of the title, so I decided to just buy the paperback copy. And then also this book is not available on KU anymore, but I did request it on NetGalley. But it is picked up by Berkeley, and real ones know if you're not part of the Berkeley influencer program, you kind of have to fight for your life to get digital arcs. But I would love to read this like digitally. Like I would love a digital arc of this book. It is like an enemies to lovers. She's writing a paper on him. That's really interesting. I love that. It's obviously a college setting. I know everyone was just talking about how like spicy this book was and how good it was and how much they loved the writing. And I personally loved Icebreaker. That's like my kind of like hockey romance. So I do think I'm going to eat this up, especially if it's a mix of like spicy. I love good girl, kind of like golden retriever type guy because it seems like he's very like la-di-da about his life approach. So it's like opposites attract, which I love. And yeah, I get it. It's the cover that got me. It's the cover that got me. So I'm very curious to see how this one goes. For another ARC copy that I have that I'm super excited about, we have Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey. This book actually comes out in February, so I got to get a move on it. When does this book come out? Does it say? Okay, 2/24. Oh good, it's the end of February. This is Tessa Bailey's newest book, which is about a pro golfer and his very obsessed fan. I just feel like I'm going to eat it up because it is a Tessa Bailey book, and she's one of my favorite authors. I love the idea of her taking a sport like golf and trying to make it sexy. I mean, that's what Tessa does. Like, she just loves to do that. Like, she loves to take something that maybe someone wouldn't expect and give it, you know, her rom-com charm. I'm sure this is going to be funny. I'm sure it's going to be spicy. I mean, I just love the idea that he has this like one super obsessed fan and, you know, he wants to retire and then I think maybe she convinces him not to or something like that. Obviously, he's a Tessa Bailey man, so he's going to be very protective over her, and I'm sure this is just going to be a really fun time. That's what I'm hoping, and that's what I'm sure it will be, so I am very excited to see how this book goes as well. Then for another duet that's from one of my favorite authors that's on their backlist that I feel like I don't see that many people talk about. We have, I don't know if it's called The Wildest Dreams Duet by Gianna Darling. No, it's called The Dark Dreams Duet. Okay. So the first book in it is, I believe it's Wildest Dreams and then Dangerous Temptations. And I have both of those books on audio actually because again, thank you to the Audible sale. This is a special edition that I have from Eternal Embers. I am pretty positive this is her guardian ward relationship, so it's going to be nice and forbidden. If it's written by Gianna Darling, I know it's going to be well written and beautiful and I'm sure spicy and dark and delicious and ooh, another big 5-star prediction. Like I would bet my life that I'm going to love this duet. I'm very, very curious about it. Diving into Gianna's backlist more is a big priority for me in 2024, as she's one of my favorite authors of all time. If it's Gianna Darling, it's not going to let me down, okay? I just know that it's not, and again, very, very happy to have the audiobooks of these two. Another book by one of my favorite authors. I am a smidge behind on my QB Tyler releases. I am so sorry to QB. I love her so much. But The Worst Kept Secret is not her newest release because technically she released the Christmas novella, like surprise novella that, you know, is set in the same world as this one. But let's just say in terms of like a fuller length release, it's The Worst Kept Secret. This is like ex-boyfriend's dad, or is it best friend's dad? I can't remember which one. So it is best friend's dad, which I mean, come on now. Another QB daddy, that's all I have to know. Like, they're neighbors, they're sneaking around. I heard this book is so hot as hell. I know that there's a scene on a Ferris wheel, and I mean, just sign me up. If it's a QB book, again, I know I'm going to love it, as she's one of my favorite authors. So when I want a spicy good time, I'm definitely reaching for this one. One more duet that I have a special edition of. This is the Pageant duet by Lilith Vincent. I read my first book by Lilith in 2023, which was Brutal Intentions, and I loved that book. It was a very forbidden, taboo, like mafia book, very so spicy, like one of the spiciest, hottest books that I read last year. It won't be for everyone, but it was for me. It's literally like a pageant, but then the main girl ends up getting kidnapped, and then I think it's like a why choose situation. Like, I think it's one girl, multiple partners. I feel like I haven't read a good captor-captive romance in a minute, and that is literally one of my favorite tropes. I love kidnapping. Like, I said it. I said what I said. It's literally one of my favorite tropes. And again, I can't even remember the last one that I read. And that's why I need this duet desperately. I don't think this duet has audiobooks yet. I know some of Lilith's books do, but I don't even care because I do actually really want to read this. Like, the more I think about this, the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm like, why am I not reading this right now? Because I think I'm going to eat this up. I do actually think I'm going to be obsessed. For another new to me author, I have a couple of Saffron Kent's books on audio that I'm very excited to listen to, like the Unrequited, which is like her student-teacher relationship, and other ones. And this one is Medicine Man. I have the audiobook for this one as well. Saffron just writes forbidden romance and a woman after my own heart. Like, I know she loves age gap, like taboo, like those kind of relationships. This one is like psychiatrist and patient, which is so, I really love that. I really, really love that. I just, think I'm going to really love this one. I do. I don't know much about it. And you know what? Let's just keep it that way. I just think it's going to be a taboo good time. I really enjoyed Forbidden Hearts by Corinne Michaels, so I'm definitely excited to get to, what is this called? Broken Dreams, which is the next book in that series. It's her newest small town romance series. Again, Corinne, if I had $1 for every TBR that I put her books on, and I never got to them, I feel like I'd have a lot of dollars. Again, I've only read the one book from her, but she's another author whose backlist I definitely want to explore more in this new year. This book is the single mom book, because the first book in this series was Single Dad, and I believe this one is Single Mom. This is another book that when it came out, I had a lot of friends who read it and they loved it, and I really enjoyed Forbidden Hearts on audio, so I would probably just end up picking up the audiobook for this one as well. And again, Corinne is just a really great small-time romance author. She's so nice and lovely, so I'm excited to get to more of her backlist in 2024. I just realized these next couple books that we're going to talk about are all small-time romances, so let's get into it. We have another book that I have a special edition of, and that is If This Is Lov by Julianne. I know that this is her cowboy forbidden romance. I believe they like grew up on the same ranch together, or like in the same town, but I know the main girl like has a really hard home life. But I think they're like friends. Maybe he's a little bit older. I think I'm remembering this book correctly. I'm pretty positive that I'm right, and that's what goes on in this book. But regardless, it's another cowboy romance. I know a couple people, again, who have read this book. They enjoyed it. I have the audiobook for this one, and this would be my first book by Julianne. I know a lot of people who have read and love, love, love her books, so she's another author who I'm very intrigued by, and I'm hoping that I end up liking her books. So again, I have this one on audio, so we will see how it goes. In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. I am so mad at myself that I haven't gotten to this book yet, because if there's one book actually in this like Love Light Farms Town seasonal series. I think it's going to be this one. This is the one where it's like opposites attract. I think it's like Grumpy Sunshine. She's like an influencer, and I think they end up in like a forced proximity situation. I have the indie cover of this book and Love Light Farms. I'm just missing an indie cover for Mixed Signals. I loved Love Light Farms so much, but I feel like everyone who I know actually who has read this Love Light series, this one's their favorite. I feel like it's either this or Love Light Farms, and I do think I'm gonna love this book. Like, I really, really do. Just feel it. Another 5-star prediction. I do think I'm really, really gonna love this book. I like the setup. I like the small town vibes, and I just think this is gonna be very, very cute and be very swoony because Bex Morrison can write a swoony, swoony romance. More cowboys, more cowboys. I mean, this is me we're talking about, so of course there's going to be some cowboys in here. This is Tame the Heart by Ava Hunter. This is the newest book in her cowboy romance series that she's working on. I have so many friends, again, who got to this book before me. I am so slow. I am lazy. But I did read, what is it? Baby Moon or Bust by her in 2023, which is her surprise pregnancy romance standalone. That book was so cute. I feel like I remembered what this book was about. Does the girl have like a heart condition? Am I making that up? Is that why it's called Tame the Heart? Oh no, I hope I'm not lying. I do know that it goes into romantic suspense. I know that it's small town. I know that he's a cowboy, and honestly, that is all I need to know. That's really all I need to know. If it's a cowboy romance, it's going to be on my TBR. Again, this is me we're talking about. I'm very easy to please, and I've already read a book by Ava that I've really enjoyed, and she's very lovely. So again, another author who I can't wait to read more from this year. Then we have another book by an author who I love so, so much. I love Nisha Sharma. This is Taste Like Shakar. This book actually finally came out to audio, which I'm very excited about because I loved Dating Dr. Dill on audio. I heard this book, this is connected to the same universe. This is called the If Shakespeare Was an Anti-series. I can't remember which Shakespeare play this one is, because the first one is inspired, by like Taming of the Shrew. And is this one like Much Ado About Nothing or something? I can't remember. I'll have to look it up because I'm definitely curious. But I've seen actually a lot of people say that they liked this one more than Dating Dr. Dill. That Nisha ups the spice in this one, which I'm very, very excited about. This one is like Enemies to Lovers. I believe he's the one who's a chef, which is really, really hot, and I am just very ready for this one. Again, super excited that the audiobook is out. Will definitely be listening to on audio as soon as I can because I've heard nothing but wonderful things. Anisha is such an angel. I love her so much. She's so nice. I saw her at Book Bonanza briefly too. It was so nice to meet her because we're like TikTok mutuals, and she's just the sweetest. I love her, so I definitely need to support her and get to this book when I can. The last duet that I have is, of course, The Kingmaker duet by Kennedy Ryan. First book is The Kingmaker, then it's The Rebel King. I believe I have both of them on audio. I should have both of them on audio. I know people are so ride or die for this duet, and I need to hop on it. I know that this one is like a forbidden romance between like, I don't know if she's like an activist or if she's like a lawyer. I think he's the one with like a lot of money. I can't remember. I know this is like a political drama actually, which is really cool. Like I feel like if you like scandal and stuff, you'll really like this. I've heard it's so well written. I mean, the audiobook has Jason Clarke on the track, and that's my man. So I am very, very ready for these. These definitely are going to be the next Kennedy Ryan books that I get to. I know she has her upcoming 2024 release as well, which I'm super excited for because, like everyone, I loved Before I Let Go. But I do love a book off of Kennedy's backlist. I love the Hoop series by her. I loved Real. So I definitely need to get to these. I do, because I feel like these are still somewhat underrated. Like, again, I feel like they're getting more and more momentum because I feel like I know so many people who love Kennedy Ryan and they're like, no, but these are my favorite Kennedy Ryan books. So I feel out of the loop. I am very, very ready for this duet. I think I'm going to very much enjoy it. You know I had to put a monster romance in here. Come on now. This is That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf by Kimberly Lemming. This series was actually picked up by a publisher and they're finally coming out. I know That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon has the Trad Pub copy now available in stores. Both of them have like such cute covers, like the original covers that I have and then the new covers. This one, it just literally says it in the title. It says it in the title what it's about. And again, I've already read the first one by Kimberly. I love her writing style. I think she's so witty and funny. And I just love how spicy her books are. I love how like boy obsessed her male main characters are. And I'm sure this one is going to be funny. These are characters who I believe are in That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. Like I'm pretty sure this is the girl who's like becomes her friend in the first book. And I'm excited for this story. I mean, the title alone is a masterpiece. I love this little cover, and I just know this is going to be a really fun time. So that was it, babes. That was 24, but really 25 books that are on my 2024 TBR. If you have read any of these books, please let me know down in the comments. If you have any books on your 2024 TBR that you think I should read, also let me know. All of my socials are linked right down below if you want to follow my Instagram, TikTok, Goodreads, etc. for more in-the-moment reading updates. I'm always talking over there, so please follow me. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share. It means the world to me. It really does. That is all for today's video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!